all is well. Jacob is here. Great. Alrighty, so we're going to get right to it. Although I just realized I forgot a really important thing, so I need my keys. Which is, I forgot the knife to open up some of these boxes. That's okay. Keys work too. Technically speaking, there's a knife somewhere in here too, but we're not going to get to that quite yet. So the way tonight's going to look like is we're just going to dive right into this. I've got two massive boxes here. We're going to kind of start with two of the biggest, heaviest package right here. And then we've got, even though this is the biggest, it's probably not the biggest news. So I've got bigger news coming, as well as like so my big three. First of my big three backpack is the Shadowlight from Outdoor Vitals, which I've already unboxed last live stream. But what am I going to use for a sleeping bag? What am I using for my tent? All that jazz, so much more coming through. So the way tonight's going to look is we're going to unbox all this stuff, we'll chat a little bit about it, and then I'm going to do a really quick run through of the gear I am bringing. You'll see some of it in the unboxing, but there's more in here, and we'll end the night off there. But before I get there, for those who don't know, this summer, for the next 2 months, I am doing the Great Divide Trail. That's here in Canada in the Canadian Rockies, 1,200 kilometers or roughly 750 miles through some of the most remote and rugged wilderness in North America. I've talked to people who have done all three of the Triple Crown twice, and she holds currently the record for the fastest yo-yo of the GDT, and she says by far it's the hardest trail she's ever done. That's Brazil Nut. She did it a couple years ago. So it is going to be a challenge without a shadow of a doubt, but I am so looking forward to it. I leave to head towards the town by the terminus in 10 days from today. Not this Wednesday, but next Wednesday. Me and my girlfriend drive down there with her sister and brother-in-law. We'll spend a couple of days camping and just chilling, and then July 3rd or July 4th, I start. I'm not exactly sure which day. I can kind of flex on either of those days, so we'll see how weather's doing and what the trail's looking like, but that's the plan. My plan is to start July 3rd, and I'm stoked. I'm beyond stoked. There's been a whirlwind of emotions, everything from moments of just anxiety, of like, what am I getting myself into, and moments of just like, is this really happening? And moments where I'm nervous and excited, but then there's moments like right now where I'm just like pure stoked. So ready. So, let's get to it. First of all, are you guys ready to keep moving forward with me to all of this gear? Let's get to it. Before I do, I'm seeing all the comments get going. Howdy, Evan. It's good to see you. Tanya, it is going to be an epic adventure. Tanya right now is on... I think you're still on the AT. You can correct me if I'm not wrong. I know that you were doing a few sections. Miyagi on the trail! Yes! It is a bucket list hike. Man, I am stoked. When are you going to do it, Miyagi? You'll have to come up here to Canada and go on some... We'll have to have like a whole bunch of you backpacking YouTubers from the States all come up here, and I'll show you some real mountains. Yeah. Not that you guys don't have real mountains there, but you get my drift. Evan, it's good to see you. Jacob, it is good. I am doing well. It's been such a while. Yeah, Tanya, she's back from her section hike of the AT. But you can go check out her channel. She's got some not only videos of her AT hike, but also of what she brought. And you can compare to what I'm bringing. So let's get right to it. First two big boxes. Probably not gear, quote unquote. Actually, we're going to do big first. The big kahuna. But this is probably the most important thing to me. You guys can tell me whether or not you think it's the most important to you. But it's the most important thing to me. Ready? It's my food! Look at this. And there's a massive bucket in here. Oh my goodness. Upside down. It's like a food storm. There we go. Peak Refuels Base Camp Bucket. So that's 2 of basically all of their meals. I've got a bunch of Mountain House as well. And of course, my favorite, creme brulee. Best dessert in the backcountry. I am stoked for all of this stuff. I want to say a huge, huge thank you to Bryden Solutions. You guys, they are amazing. If you're in Canada and you've been seeing these Peak Refuel meals all over the place, this is one of their brand new coconut chicken ones. I've got the sweet pork. Where's that? There should be a. It's in here somewhere, but that like gravy and biscuits. In America, you guys I've been seeing these on Instagram, on YouTube, everybody's eating these, but you can't get them up here in Canada, not easily at least, except for Bryden Solutions. Bryden Solutions has hooked me up this summer. They have been just such a huge support, offered to give me 30 meals for 2 months of my food, not all of it, but most of it, and they've just helped me and given me suggestions even. And if you're in Canada and you want to try the Peak Refuel, check out Bryden Solutions. They're local to where I live in my province, and they're a great company. Love that I'm able to support local. Love that I'm able to buy some Peak Refuel from stateside and get that eaten. And there's all sorts of goodies in here as well, like the honey stingers. I don't know if you guys have tried these Stroop waffles. They're amazing. And I think I lost my keys. I did not lose my keys. So let's see what everyone's saying. Miyagi, you are definitely welcome to come up here. And yes, that creme brulee, it is mine. Okay, Miyagi, this will blow your mind if you haven't done it already. You're a pretty smart guy, so you probably have. The creme brulee, it says to make it with cold water. Make it with warm water or hot water. On a cold night out in the backcountry, hot creme brulee it's next level. It's next level, let me just tell you. Backpacking with Buckley, how's it going? It's good to see you, my friend. Awesome. Some more Mountain House. Do you guys prefer Mountain House or Peak Refuel? I don't have any of the other brands here. Oh yeah, we do. Backpacker's Pantry, Alpine Air. There's so many out there. What is your favorite backpacking food? Dehydrated meal. Let me hear it in the comments. I want to hear you guys shout out your favorite backpacking food brand. Show them some love, and then tell me what your favorite meal is out on the trail. I have not tried very many of the Peak Refuels. I've only tried 2. I think they're like macaroni and they're chili mac and they're one of their breakfast skillets. So I'm really excited to try all of those. We're gonna put that off to the side. My plan, by the way, is to eat every single one of the Peak Refuel meals, and then I'm going to do a review on which ones I think are worth buying and which ones should be left in the store. So I wanted to start there because food is important, and also just because that box was in my way. And now we can get to some of the other stuff. I've got a bunch of odds and ends here, as well as some big boxes. Coming at me from Outdoor Vitals, which is awesome. Enlightened Equipment, Nightcore. So, what should we go? Biscuits and gravy, Buckley says. Backpacking with Buckley. Backpacker's Pantry, Jacob. I started liking Backpacker's Pantry, and then that was my first backpacking food, and then I switched to Mountain House, and I haven't gone back since. Well, now I'm trying Peak Refuel because they're all the rage. Packet Gourmet. I have heard so many things about Packet Gourmet. There is some awesome things. Marty Morissette, the man, the myth, the legend. How are you doing, my friend? It is good to see you here. We're talking backpacking food. I'm going to be taking a tip that Marty taught me, which is I've saved some of these from previous trips, some different of the Mylar packages, and I'm going to be using them for my breakfasts. I came into kind of a gear conundrum, which is I like to have a cup of coffee in the morning, and I also like to have some warm oatmeal. And usually I do my warm oatmeal in my pot, but then I didn't want to bring an extra mug. We'll get to that a little bit later. So I had a conundrum, and all of a sudden Marty's voice rang in my head, and it was, once these things are empty, they're great for repurposing and packaging your own DIY meals. So I'm going to be using old bags for my oatmeal, and that's how I'm going to be doing that. That way I can have my pot for my mug. Okay, let's open up some more gear. Evan, you dehydrate your own stuff. That's good stuff. Oh, this is a little personal for the first thing that I'm opening. These are my underwear. The underwear that I'm going to be using on the trail. I'm going to actually be bringing 2 pairs of underwear, but these are the Exoficio underwear. I've had one other pair of these that I've just really liked, so I got a secondary pair that I can switch out later on, and then the other pair that I'll be using will be like my nighttime thermal pair, and that's the Outdoor Vitals Dragon Wool, which is already in this bag. Okay, this one I already opened because I needed to use this because I've been doing a ton of training for the GDT, and that is one of these bad boys. It's a Cork Ball. It has no use or function on the trail, but it's for rolling out those muscles when they get stiff and sore, and that is what I will be, got something on my pants there, will be using it for. And so far so good. I got 2 of them. I've been using it in my training already, really, and they're like super light, so that can go right in there. Next thing from Amazon. So much garbage. What? Oh, right! Yeah, somebody mentioned pack DIY, bring your own stuff. This is my attempt to do some of my own DIY meals and some of my pills, like vitamins, nutrient tabs, different things like that. They're all just a bunch of, there's 500 different sized little baggies. I got them on Amazon. Everything from like really small ones. So I don't use toothpaste. I use toothpaste tabs. So I'm going to put my toothpaste tabs right in this little thing. Just enough for each section so that when I get to my resupply, I will have just enough for the next section and going forward. So that's what all of that is. That's not really super exciting. This also, I don't think will be super exciting for you guys. It's exciting for me. This little guy is how I will be recording everything on the trail. Not really, but sort of. It's just a USB stick, just came in today. I film everything on my phone. That's what's recording this right now as we speak. And this is just a Samsung 250 gigabyte USB drive that plugs directly into my iPhone so that I won't go over my storage, because although I don't film in 4K, because I just, over 2 months, I won't be able to. I will be filming everything in HD. Nightcore. Nightcore sent me these bad boys. This will be my power solution. I've got the NB 2000 milliamp hour power bank and the NB 1000. The NB 1000 is crazy light. In fact, it's only 5.3 ounces. If you take 2 of these, it's actually lighter than one of these, which was really tempting. But I figured comparing the 2 side by side would be really good. I'm bringing about 30,000 milliamp hours of power onto the GDT. That might be overkill, but I'd rather be safe than sorry. I use my phone for my GPS. I use my phone for filming. I use my phone for entertainment on the trail. It's also, yeah, it's like my maps, my navigation. It's pretty important. Don't want it to die. So that's what I've been using. I've been having a few interesting issues, especially with the NB 20000. But I'll get to that when I do a full review of these. Okay. All right. First of all, we should get in on these comments here. Ooh, the Wise Company freeze-dried food. Yeah, I haven't tried them yet. Little tip: Canadian Tire has Wood's rechargeable headlamp, Ultralight 1 ounce. Wow, that's actually really impressive. I'm surprised that it's 1 ounce. I know I have the Nightcore. I think it's in here. It's in one of these pockets. I'm pretty sure. Maybe not. Maybe not. I thought I put it in here. Nope. I don't know where it went. It's supposed to be in there. But that's 1 ounce without the headband. So the fact that Canadian Tire has something like that is pretty impressive. All right, I think that's good. By the way, if you guys have any questions, feel free to shoot them in there. I'd love to answer them and get to that. So this is a kind of hodgepodge order from Garage Growin' Gear. I've never bought anything from Garage Growin' Gear, but I'm really starting to love this company. It's just like a storefront for all the different cottage industry companies out there. So if you want to support local, you want to support cottage companies, but it's hard to sometimes manage their different supplies and all these different things. So you can just go to one-stop shop, get everything you need. It's all shipped together, which means you're not paying shipping a ton of different times, which is awesome. So what's really important in here is, well, we won't get to that. We'll start with this. This is the Canuck Vecto. Of course, you guys are all really familiar with these. A couple of years ago when I was starting backpacking, these were all the rage. You like needed one of these to be a backpacker. This was one of the Sawyer Squeeze. The Sawyer Squeeze is my backup water filter. I'm going with the Katadyn Be Free 1 liter, but I had some issues with it last year, so I don't completely trust it. So I've got a backup that I'll be bringing with myself. And what else is in here? Oh, this little guy. Can you guys see this? The Culo Clean. This is the Backcountry Bidet. The infamous Backcountry Bidet. I have not used one of these. I swore at one point I never would, but Justin Outdoors has been talking to me about how he feels it's a game changer, and I love Justin Outdoors. I mean, can we get some love for Justin Outdoors? The man's brilliant. By the way, he's doing the GDT this summer as well. He's starting a month after me and finishing 1 day behind me. It's going to be insane. Anyways, Backcountry Bidet, I'm going to give it a try because I plan on using this with toilet paper, kind of as a 2-in-1. I don't think I'll get rid of toilet paper altogether, but sometimes I was thinking after a long, many kilometer hikes, I might want something that's a little bit fresher than dry teepee. I also use wet wipes. Those are great as well. That might be too much information. Sorry, you guys. Not really. We're backpackers. We talk poop. It's what we do. I'm just sorry for the people who know me outside of backpacking who might watch this and they're like, I didn't want to hear Jesse say that. Sorry, guys. Welcome to Backcountry Forward. Toothbrush. I didn't know that I had bought this because I thought I already had one. But I've got an Ultralight toothbrush. Maybe that will be my backup. And, oh, yeah. There was something else in here. The pillow. I had bought 2 of these off of the Lightsmith website, and they all leaked, which was really frustrating. So it wasn't worth returning them because they were only like $1.20. But I decided I'd try off of Garage Growing Gear and hopefully have better luck with that. I'm going to be testing that tonight. And finally, extra backup stakes. Those are good and important. Finally, the Ersac. Now, you guys can't all use these in the States because they're not approved in all the national parks. But this is a bear food storage bag instead of one of the bear storage bins. It's bag, it's Kevlar. This is the bear, the XL, and the major XL. So it's supposed to be able to store. It's only 8.8 ounces. I'm trying to remember how many liters it was. There we go, 15 liters. 15 liters. So it might be a little small for what I need, which I'm a little concerned about. But now that I've got my food, I'm going to be testing this out and seeing if it's good for me. Does anybody else use any of these? Just curious. Just checking it out in the comments here. Yeah, so has anybody used a Ersac? Has anybody got any horror stories? I've heard of people like getting bear tea, they call it, where the bears just gnaw on it, and even though they can't get the food, just their saliva and everything mixes with it. I don't know if that's a real thing. Fortunately, the Great Divide Trail stays up mostly in the Rockies, in the high elevations, so that's good. Anyways, I don't want to spend any more time with this because we've got bigger, crazier, awesomer things. This is really exciting as well. This company reached out to me a while ago, which was just total coincidence. When I started backpacking, I went on Amazon and I just looked for a pair of liners. And I bought a pair of liners, and I've been using those liners ever since. And when they started to wear out last year, I went online, went to that same company, and bought their merino wool version of their liners. I really like their liners. And they are Fox River. And then Fox River just like randomly reached out to me and said, hey, we've seen your channel. We're just interested in getting some products out there for people to test. And I was like, hey, I love your guys' products. I'm doing the GDT. Do you guys want to supply socks? They said absolutely. They're an American brand, and they have sent me an entire box load full of their socks. Their merino wool blend socks, everything. They've given me a ton of different options to try, so I'm really excited for that. Some ultralight versions, some thicker versions for the colder nights, and of course, their liners, because I still swear by their liners. You guys, I never get blisters on trail. I've only had one trip where I've gotten blisters on trail, and it was because I was wearing boots. I hate boots and will never wear boots again, and it was pouring rain. My boots got sopping wet. But I don't know if it's the fact that I wear trail runners, or the fact that my feet are just tough, or the fact that I use liners. I think it's the fact that I use Fox River liners. Not sponsored, but they did hook me up here. So just so you guys are aware of that, check them out. Links for all of this stuff is in the description. You can just click that little arrow right above the comments to drop down and open up that. Yeah, free socks. I mean, you guys remember, like when you were a kid, you were like, I hated socks. Getting socks for Christmas was like the lamest gift ever. And then you start backpacking and you're like, you got me socks for Christmas. Thank you. I mean, these are amazing. These are going to be like they've got me winter socks. I'm good to go for the next 14 years. Okay, not least, but not last. The last one's a really exciting, really big announcement, you guys, and then we're gonna dive through what's in my pack. Yeah, it's a ton of socks. What do you guys use for socks? Do you guys like merino? Are you guys the dreaded cotton sock wearers? Do you go barefoot because that's crazy? I'd love to hear. I'm like a few minutes behind, so I won't really hear until you guys respond, but I'll go back and check. Okay. This I'm stoked for. This box weighs nothing. This is a brand new product from a company that is well known and well liked and well loved. Hiker Trash. That's not the company, but it is Enlightened Equipment. It is the Lightened Equipment Torrid Marsupial. I couldn't even remember what I got, what color I got. Apparently I got the orange. Yeah, this is the salmon orange and gray on the inside. Oh my goodness, this thing is so light. It is going to be so warm. Oh, this is gonna be toasty, toasty, toasty. Backcountry forward orange. I really wanted to try this out for a couple of different reasons. The main one being the Apex synthetic insulation will help keep me warm if it gets wet, and the GDT, the Great Divide Trail, is known to get wet and be pretty moist and damp because of the rain and whatnot. And so if this gets wet, it's good to go. It's also just a great, it will be my puffy. This will be my puffy when I'm sitting around camp. I have been using the Outdoor Vitals Ventus, which is in here, and I love that. And that will be like my go-to hiking hoodie because that keeps me cool and warm and blocks the wind. This will be way too hot to hike in the summer months unless it's like frigid. So as I get to the end of August, I might experience some snow and want to switch to something like this. But for the most part, I'm going to be using this at camp. Oh my goodness. Wow. I love it already, you guys. Yeah. I'm so ready for this trip. Real talk. I'm so ready for this trip, you guys. Darn Tough socks. That's what you guys use? That is good to know. Backpacking with Buckley. You've got the Torin? Yeah, I mean, I'm like, this thing is toasty. I am hot. It feels so good too. I'm impressed. I'm impressed with how it feels. Real nice. It's like a little, I won't lie, there's that like, the inner material where it's touching my arms is like, you know, I'm sweating, so it's a little clammy, but if I'm out in a nice, cool day, it probably wouldn't be as clammy. Okay, okay. Oh, onward, keep moving forward. Let's get going. This thing is so light. It's so light. Okay, last, certainly not least, huge announcement with this box. I had a moment in the winter where I've worked with this company for a couple of different projects that they've released products, and honestly, they've been great to work with. I've just loved just the honesty, the integrity, everything. And I was walking home one day wearing some of the things that they had sent me as I was testing out their prototypes before I had done any reviews. They never asked me to do reviews. They just legit said, hey, we want your input. And then it was totally up to me to do the reviews if I wanted to, and I did because I like the products. I love the products. I'm going to be using it on the GDT. And I was walking home and I was like, wow, like, I'm basically just repping this brand like crazy, you know? I'm wearing their leggings, their pants, their top, their, you know, other things, and I'm just like, I should reach out to them and see if there's something we could work out. We've got a great relationship, they're a great company, and so I did. I reached out to them, told them about this crazy trip that I was doing, and asked if they wanted to help be a part of it. And long story short, they did. So, without further ado, I'm announcing the sponsor for Backcountry Forward's Great Divide Trail Hike is officially Outdoor Vitals. Outdoor Vitals is, my computer just crashed, my internet just crashed, so I don't know if everything else crashed. I hope it all worked. But Outdoor Vitals has just been so supportive and so awesome. I've been using their pants, I've been using their Ventus hoodie, I've been using their dragon wool, and love it. It's the gear that I want to take on the GDT. And with that all being said, it was just natural for me to reach out to them, and I'm really excited for this partnership. I'm really excited to see where all of this goes. So, without further ado, there are a few things in here. These are the Satu Adventure Pants. I already have a pair of these. I actually bought a second pair of these. I had tested the prototype. They changed just a few things. I bought a second pair on the Kickstarter. Loved them so much. But I wanted the gray ones. The ones that I bought were green, and they just weren't not the right style for what I was wanting. So they've sent me a new pair of the Satu Satu Adventure Pants, as well as more pack liners, and I bought these Mountain Ops straight to the mouth hydration recovery systems. These are electrolytes that are basically just little powder tubes that you just, like, they're like those sugar packets that, like, when you were a kid and you had candies, those straws, that's all they are, except for they're electrolytes. And you just go straight to the mouth. And these are going to be my electrolyte system for the trail. I'm really excited. I've never tried them. But this is the Outdoor Vitals brand new, just seeing how everyone is doing. Yeah, 8.5 ounces. Buckley, you were right. The Torrid is 8.5 ounces. Derek Chambers, good place to get mid-quality price gear in Canada and Alberta. Honestly, I mean, yes, I am biased because I'm sponsored, straight up. But I think Outdoor Vitals is a great place to go. You're getting performance gear, quality gear, that's at an honest price. Because they cut out the middleman, they're not jacking up their prices like Mech is. Mech is the Canadian version of REI, or like Atmosphere is, and you can get genuinely good gear, what you need, for an honest price, but that's quality performance gear. Versus if you go to these big box stores, you're just going to be upsold, oftentimes gear that's not even appropriate. You don't know how many times I've talked to Canadian hikers who are hiking in the Canadian Rockies, and they went to Mech or they went to Atmosphere, and they were told that they needed some $500 to $600 down 0 degrees Celsius sleeping bag. 0 degrees Celsius is like, what is that? Like a 40 degrees bag in Fahrenheit. And that I'm sorry, that won't cut it. That is I don't know any Canadian hiker that I respect that does summer months in the mountains with 0 degree anything, and yet that's often what they recommend. I've seen people recommend that, and that's just crazy. You need something that's going to take you down to that -5, -7, so that 20 degrees Fahrenheit, or in this case, 15 degrees Fahrenheit, because this is not a sleeping bag. This is, it's a quilt. It's my first backpacking quilt, down quilt, brand new design. I love what Outdoor Vitals has done with this. I was listening to the podcast. They changed the backpacking quilt game, because up till now, backpacking quilts were designed for hammock users, and us ground sleepers and hikers started using what hammock campers were using and like modifying them a little bit to make them work. But Outdoor Vitals said, well, we're going to reverse that. We're going to make a quilt that's designed for ground sleepers, and then hammock campers can still use it. And that's what they did. And one of the reasons they did that was that they have these tapered shoulders that really taper in tight so that it comes right up and follows the curve, the natural curve of your shoulders, rather than being this big rectangular. Oh my goodness, it's way too hot for this today. But yeah, this is my quilt. This is what I'll be using on the trail, and I am uber stoked on all of this. Derek, if you have any other questions on gear, don't hesitate to reach out to me on Instagram. I'd love to ask you some questions if you have specific gear questions. I love helping people who are getting out there making gear decisions. So please reach out, Backcountry Forward on Instagram. We can talk a little bit more one-on-one. The socks, we got some Invies. You are going to fall in love with this quilt. Yes, if it's not broke, fix it. This is my first backpacking quilt. I've tested a few. Matty Outdoors lent me his, and I really liked that. It was back in the winter time, but I'm really excited to dial this in. So, Outdoor Vitals, thank you so much for being willing to partner with me. Thank you to all the other companies who have supported me in this journey as I get going. I gotta be careful I'm not losing things. These are my pad straps. There should be two. I might have lost one in there. We'll get back to that later. Bryden Solutions, thank you guys so much. Fox River, thank you. Enlightened Equipment, I'm looking forward to testing this out and putting this through the ringer. I'm so excited to try out my new, not new, I've tried them out, but break in my new Satu pants. There's two last things. Sorry. Hiking poles. I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to be using these. These are Trichology, new Trichology hiking poles, carbon. They're 6.9 ounces, so they're pretty comparable to those Costco Cascade Mountain trekking poles, but I think they're half the price at about $40 or $50 versus the other ones are $80. That's Canadian. I don't know what that is in the States. Not 100% sure if I'm going to be using these, or 3FUL is sending me some of their brand new Ultralight Z trekking poles that all fold up, and they're like less than 5 ounces. I hate trekking poles, so anything that's lighter is better, but I recognize I need them on this trail. And last but not least, my shoes, because I'm actually really excited to tell you guys about my shoes, Gators. Look at these things. This is not Backcountry Forward orange. This is like neon orange. These are the Innovate Terra Ultra 270s. They're a zero drop shoe, so I am going zero drop. I was really hesitant to make that decision, but I have been training for the past 4 months in zero drop. Haven't noticed any issues. I actually talked to a physiotherapist. My physiotherapist is Cairn Physiotherapy. She's been helping me train for the GDT. She did the GDT last year. She's excellent. Go check her out. You can check her out, Millennial Mountaineer, on YouTube. She's got her whole trip. Anyways, she says she thinks I'm good to go with zero drop because if I've been testing that long and haven't noticed any issues, we're good to go. So these are super grippy. I love them. Who doesn't love a new pair of mountain shoes? That's me. How are we doing for time? 6:36. How are we? If you guys are doing well, if you guys are stoked for the summer, can I just hear you guys say, I don't know, what stoked? Let me hear you say stoked. I want to see it. I'm going to be so excited. And yes, Tanya, I won't get lost in the woods. If it's not broken, fix it. I joked with somebody, I said, if I ever get lost, I'm just going to throw these up in the air, and they'll be able to see it back from my hometown in Edmonton, about 400 kilometers away. So these are like flares, flashlight in the middle of the night, also shoes. So, you know, multi-purpose. That's what it means to live ultralight. Yes, awesome, you guys. I'm so stoked to see that you guys are stoked. I am stoked. You guys, this summer is going to be unbelievable. It's daunting. It's a little scary, but it's so exciting. I am so excited. Thank you guys for all of your support. So let's go through a little bit more. So what am I bringing? What do I already have? I've got such a mess around here. That's what I have. So big three, my backpack. Outdoor Vitals sent me the Shadowlight 60-liter backpack. I had to go with a 60-liter backpack because I needed the space for food. I have 10 days of food carries that I have to do in one reach. The other one is like an 8-day, and so it's not like other through hikes where you're 3 or 4 days out from a mountain town where you can just resupply. Sometimes you go, the first stretch is 6 days, then it's 8 days, then it's a little shorter, but then there's another 10-day. There's a lot of distance to cover, and I need space to store all that food. That's also a lot of extra weight. So I've been testing out the Shadowlight a lot. There's a few things that I'm really excited to see how it handles on the trail. And it's got this funky zipper down the front middle, which I honestly never thought I was going to use, and I still don't think I'm going to use it that much. But I've started to think of little ways that I could creatively use it on the trail a little bit easier. So that's that. I've got my first aid kit, of course, as well as toiletries, and in there, my poop scoop, the Vargo Dig. We won't go through all of that. It's just a basic first aid kit and whatnot. This is my clothing bag, my stuff sack from Hilltop Packs. If you guys want ultralight custom gear, I know that not everyone can afford that, or maybe it's not something you can start out with, but also, if you don't know what to ask for your birthday, for Christmas, for Father's Day, for Mother's Day, Hilltop Packs. These are a great gift to get someone because you can make ultra custom. You can put a picture of them, a picture of the family, picture of their trail name, whatever it is. Backcountry Forward, that's mine. We'll unpack that a little bit as I get to some of the clothing. Here's a dilemma I shared a little bit earlier on. This has been a really hard dilemma for me. Around my cook kit is the Toaks Titanium 550. Inside I've got my windscreen. I am not using the BRS. Well, I'm probably not. I might. The BRS will be a backup. I find the BRS to be just a little bit too light and flimsy, and I'm not crazy about it. So this is the Boundless Voyage Titanium stove. It's 40 grams, so like just under 2 ounces, so about twice the weight of the Boundless Voyage, but still crazy light. But I find it handles wind better. It's got really sturdy pot stabilizers, and overall I've just been more pleased with it. So I can use a heavier pot if I want to. Not that I will be on this trail, that's why I still might use the BRS, but I like this little guy. Anyways, but so this has been my pot of choice for the GDT. It's also going to be my mug, but I'm really sad to leave this guy behind. This is my go-to mug. I love this. If you know just those pieces of gear that you just love, this is mine. This is my piece of gear that I just love. What's a piece of gear that you guys just love to bring on the trail that, like, even if you don't need it, you kind of want to bring it anyways? For me, that's this guy. I've told myself I'm not bringing it, but deep down inside I haven't really made that decision yet, but I think I have. My girlfriend Sierra, she's going to be making a cozy a cozy for the Toast Titanium. So it will be my pot, my mug in the morning. And with that tip that I learned from Marty Morissette, where you use old meal bags as a cooking kind of pouch that you can DIY, I think that's what I'm going to go. So, Backcountry Ford GSI mug. I'll still put you off to the side because I'm not sure yet. What else am I bringing? Part of my big three is what sleeping pad am I using? Here's another piece of luxury that I have fallen in love with that goes with my pad. Nemo and their Vortex pump sack. This thing, it's just, I mean, I don't really care about blowing up sleeping pads. It's never been something that's bothered me. I just do it. No problem. But this just makes it just mindless. Like two breaths of air, and my Nemo Tensor, insulated Nemo Tensor sleeping pad is what I'll be using. I haven't had a chance to test this in cold enough temperatures often. I have tested it a few, but not as much as I would like to. I'm especially curious of how it will do with my quilt. But one of the reasons I like the Tensor, two of the reasons I like the Tensor is, first of all, it's not crinkly like the Neolite, Thermarest Neolite X-Lite is. Also, it's got a brushed material on it, which I think will be more comfortable than with this on top, with my back on top of this. So, that's my thinking. That is my thinking. Will I make butter chicken on the trail? Yes, I will. In my Bride and Solutions bag, they've got me a container of dehydrated chicken, and I'm going to be making butter chicken on the trail. Absolutely. No questions. And to filter water, I've got my Katadyn Be Free. Oh, because I'm going with a quilt, I need a down hood. So this will be my down hood. My pillow of choice is the Trichology Aloft 2.0 with the pad strap. I love that thing. It is so good. The backup pillow that I'll be bringing, I won't be bringing it in my trail, but it'll be on my resupply bags, is the Hike Insure. This has been a good pillow, but I find the back is just a little too smooth, and that even with the pad strap, it slides off. And that's not good. Whereas the Trichology has these little rubber bumps. So that's excellent there. What else is in here? Ground sheet. Okay, I think that, last things is, I just want to give a shout out to, I just discovered these guys, Bigfoot Bushcraft. I'm not a bushcrafter yet. Yet. You never know. Who knows what I'll do after this trip. But I'm not a bushcrafter, but these are Firestarters, and they came with a little flint steel thingamajigger. These things are gimmicks. I'm sorry. They're fun to use to impress your friends, but who uses these on the trail other than bushcrafters? I don't. That's for sure. But these Firestarters have been amazing. They smell delicious, which is really weird. They smell like candy. Don't eat them. But they start like that, even with one of these things. Like, usually you have to practice and you have to really go with the steel and flint to get a good start. But like one strike, and these things burn. Yeah, I'm really stoked. They're a new company, really awesome. You guys can check them out in the comments below. But other than that, I think that covers just about everything. I've got my clothing, which is, we'll go through it, Dragon Wool thermals from Outdoor Vitals, Dragon Wool hoodie from Outdoor Vitals, the Ventus from Outdoor Vitals. Do you guys see why I reached out to Outdoor Vitals? I'm wearing all of their clothing already, so it just makes sense. We've got a great partnership. A backup pair of running shorts. My wet gear will be, these are rain pants from 66 Degree North, and Eddie Bauer rain jacket, which is right now wet and no, it's not wet right now. It gets me wet, or got wet last time I used it. Wasn't super impressed with that. So I've got Frog Togs coming out as my backup. Have you guys ever used Frog Togs? Any luck with Frog Togs? Don't eat them. I will not eat my Firestarters, although when you're hungry on the GDT, you never know. So I'm gonna see if I can get this replaced from Eddie Bauer. I know they've got a pretty good return policy. If not, I'm gonna be using Frog Togs. And that, my friends, is my mini loadout. Not going into too much detail of everything, but I think that's just about everything. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you guys tune in on the trail. As far as what that's gonna look like when I'm on trail, I'm going to be posting stuff on Instagram and over at Backcountry Forward on Facebook, but mostly on Instagram. So if you want to follow the journey, follow hashtag Backcountry Forward or at Backcountry Forward or hashtag Jesse on the GDT. That's JESSEONGDT. That's the hashtag I'll be using for this trip. Whenever I get service, whenever I come into a little town or something and I will update you guys with some stories or maybe even a live stream on Instagram, maybe even a live stream here, but I probably won't be able to advertise it. It's just going to be a fly by the seat of my pants on YouTube, set up my tripod, do a live stream. I really would love to do that, so I'm hoping I can do that at least once or twice this summer. But beyond that, my girlfriend Sierra, she's going to be posting pictures that I send to her onto the channel and onto Instagram, just to keep that content coming out so you guys can kind of follow along with the journey as it happens. And then in the fall, when I get back, I'll be sitting down, editing all my videos, putting them together, and I'm going to be releasing a whole series of the Great Divide Trail Adventure and every chapter along the way. So thank you guys all so much for your support. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks Jamie, I'm so excited as well. Justin, Froggy Togs are the best. I'm glad to hear that Justin backs them. That's a good thing. I won't be using the pants. Don't worry, Adrian, I'm on that. So, you guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Thanks so much for all your support. Check out some of these companies. Check out this gear. You can click the links in the description below. That would definitely help me out a ton because it would make it so that my belly's a little less starving by the end of the trip. Because although I've got a ton of food from Biden Solutions, I don't have it all. So I need to get even more. I'll be doing that this week. So over on Instagram, I'm going to be posting a lot more about the food preparations and what I'm doing and what I'm bringing. Thank you guys so much for checking in. And remember, keep moving forward. I'll see you guys out on the trail. I don't know how to turn it off.